It's the book of Second Ezra, chapter 15, verse 11. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and will smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. First and foremost, before I get started, I want to thank Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi Bahasham Kakadash. I want to give double honor to the apostles, the elders, GMS, who teach and rule well, who taught me this truth. Salutation, you brothers and sisters that are out to listen and learning, fighting this good fight of faith. Salutation, my fellow brethren that are pushing His word in all truth and sincerity. You all, I want to say shalom. Know we pray that this lesson be edifying to your elect. So I want to do a, in the news, signs of the times, lesson. And this particular lesson will be dealing with the pestilences, that are on the horizon, and all the different things, all the evils that, that they can lead to, So, as brothers have been reporting on, as of I believe it was yesterday, the WHO, the WHO, World Health Organization, chief declares MPOX an international public health emergency. This is published today, August 15, 2024, the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble, as coined by the beloved Apostle Tahar. And I'll read a little bit of it. It says, the World Health Organization has declared the MPOX as a public health emergency of international concern and have urged a jump shot campaign. So here we go again, man. The WHO Director General Tedros made the announcement after the emergency committee decided the surge in infections had the potential to spread across Africa and even outside the continent. This is it right here.
The emergency committee met and advised me that, in its view, the situation constitutes a public health emergency of international concern. I have accepted that advice. The detection and rapid spread of a new clade of Mpox in eastern DRC, its detection in neighboring countries that had not previously reported Mpox, and the potential for further spread within Africa and beyond is very worrying. In addition to other outbreaks of other clades of Mpox in other parts of Africa, it's clear that a coordinated international response is essential to stop these outbreaks and save lives.
There you go. It's already setting the stage, man. Setting the stage. So, it says, pretty much everything is was said in that, So these are, the signs of the times, man, as says in Second Ezra's 9th chapter. We were commanded to measure the time diligently. Second Ezra 9:1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things before in the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. So we're measuring the time diligently in itself, and we see what time we're living in, man. We're living in a time of evil, man. Let me get that. 3. Yep. It says Ecclesiastes chapter 3. I'll start at 1. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. And we are clearly in the time of weeping and mourning, man. You know, as the scriptures talk about, they shall not drink strong drink with the song, the mirth is gone, you know. These are the different things that are going on in Babylon and around the world, man. As the scriptures say, when the wicked are in authority, the people mourn. The wicked, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, are in authority. And that's why it's a time of mourning, man. Everybody's mourning all around the earth, man. Fifth verse, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak. And the prophets were out here speaking. As the scriptures say, he that make mention of the Lord keep not silence, man. And I think it's Isaiah 62. A time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace, man. So these are the times that we're in, man. We're not in the lovey-dovey times where, everything's peaches and cream, man. No, we're in a time of hate. We're in a time of war, you know. This isn't a time of peace, man. You know, and these are the times that we're entering into, man. As it says in um second Ezra, just grabbing a few precepts before I get the rest of the lesson. 6. Fuck it. Second Ezra 6:22, and this is the time that we're living in, man. Second Ezra 6:22, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. Right, the scripture we just read in Ecclesiastes was talking about a time to rend, a time to rip, and a time to sow. Right, sown represents bringing together. In this scripture, the sown places would be society together. It says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty, man, which represents the other plagues that are coming upon this place, which is famine is one of those plagues, man. But these pestilences are going to lead to a lot of evils in the earth, man. So let's get to the next one. So this came out, actually before this one. This came out, let's see, August 10th, so 5 days ago. It says, is a much deadlier strain of mpox going to be the next great global health scare? Right. So I'm just, I'm not going to read this. I'm just bringing these different articles out just to highlight what's going on in the earth, man, that they're setting the stage for something, you know. This is where we're going to start getting into, you know, what it appears that these devils are really up to. Let's get that real quick, since I mentioned it. Brothers know it. Holy but goody. 2 Corinthians 2:11, and it's so on point all the time. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, man. We are not ignorant of what these devils are up to, you know. So, matter of fact, before I get that, I, I have this one. I have to. So this is from Live Science. Brothers have been reporting on this. This is from August 2nd, 2024, and it says dangerous strains of hyper-virulent superbug detected in U.S. and 15 other countries, man. You know? So there's a lot of things going on at the same time, right? Let's see, and let's get this. Let's see, did I have another one? That's that. Here we go. Okay. And then we got, my wife was actually just talking to me about, uh, so it says, here in Mass, there was a second human case of West Nile virus confirmed in Mass for 2024, man. So you got the West Nile virus coming in from these mosquitoes. You got this tick. Let's see, how did they say it? White tick. Let's see, so white spot tick, white star. There we go. Let's see, and I just lock it. News. So the Lone Star tick. So it causes a red meat allergy, right? So at the same time, all these different things are coming out at the same time, and this tick that's biting down in Texas, from my understanding, which is, known for their barbecue and, obviously eating, red meat and what have you. So how fitting that they would start down there. You know, it causes an allergy that makes people not want to eat red meat or can't eat red meat. Tick species that can cause meat allergy and other illnesses is spreading across the United States. Studies suggest, man. So hey, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. This pestilence is coming out at the same time when there's reports coming out about how they're putting bugs in the food, man, and trying to condition people to eat bugs as their main protein instead of cows and chickens and you know what have you. So we already see what's going on. So as they're doing these things, matter of fact, let's get this just before we move on. Fuck, what's going on? There we go. It's freezing up on me. Get what Yahawashi said, how we would know what time we're living in. It's Matthew 24 and 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? Right? In this world, get it? Aeon, right? And it means world, evermore, age, right? A period of time, age. So this is, as the scriptures say, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So the end of Esau's world, right? Not the end of the world, like the whole world is gonna explode or something like that. Because as the scriptures say, the earth abideth forever, right? So the end of Esau's world. So when shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of Esau's world? And Yahawashi answered, Matthew 24 and 4, and Yahawashi answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am anointed, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And that's, we hear about wars and rumors of wars all day, every day. You know, a main talking point nowadays, which wasn't ever, never happening years, a couple years ago, is people speaking about World War III. That's a regular talking point. When you go outside in the Jake neighborhoods, you go around Edomites to your grocery store. If you hear somebody speaking about politics or world events, you know, World War III tends to come up, or different wars and rumors of wars, man. And it says, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines." There's multiple talks of global famines because of food shortages and what have you. Shortages on what's the word I'm looking for? Man, it's leaving me right now. What you use to grow food, fertilizers, and different things of that nature, and pestilences, right, and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginnings of sorrows. You look up pestilences, as you brothers notice, for the newer listeners, and the Greek word is
Strong's G 3061. Loimas. Loimas.
loimos, which means pestilence, a pestilent fellow, pest, plague, right? You will plague this place as before, right? Plague Egypt as before, which that's how you know that this isn't talking about ancient Egypt. It's talking about spiritual Egypt, you know, which is none other than Babylon the Great, aka America. All you got to do is look at the back of your dollar bill, see you see the pyramid. You go to these different cities. You go to down there to Washington, and you see the so-called Washington Monument. It's an Egyptian obelisk, man. Obelisk, sorry, it's a lot. Right? This is the Egyptian obelisk, right? See it? We got the hieroglyphs on the side, right? And then you go to the Washington Monument. There you go. What do you got? Same thing, man. Same thing. You know, this is Egypt all over again, right? And Egypt means bondage. And as the scriptures say, we are yet this day in our captivity, right? So back to Matthew 24, pestilence. It says a plague, literally the disease, or figuratively, excuse me, a pestilence, right? So the disease, man. So all these diseases are coming upon Babylon, as the scriptures say they would, right? Let's see. Let's get to how these devils are going to use these different things to take this off. Hold on here. All right. So this is from Natural News, published Thursday, August 15, 2024, and it reads: Demic 2.0 will see police, NATO forcing the world to get juiced. Now I got a clip from Redacted, and it says, "Hang on, NATO will now enforce," you see it, "and juice mandates," Redacted with Clayton Morris, and this is his wife, Natalie Morris. So this is from Redacted. Um, this is fair use, fair use. So without further ado, we're going to see one of the scientists that they're talking about. So without further ado, here we go.
So last week, this video of him went viral where he says he's been working with the WHO to figure out which government agency should we use to enforce the science? Which agency that has, guns and bombs will enforce lockdowns or vaccine mandates? This conference happened in early July, but here's that clip from the pediatric conference that was deleted from YouTube, but it still exists on Facebook.
Fortunately, I have to give you a very long, I don't know the answer to your question answer, because it is very complicated. And quite honestly, the health sector doesn't know what to do, because this is now first and foremost a political problem. And what I've said to the Biden administration is the health sector can't solve this on its own. We're going to have to bring in Homeland Security, Commerce Department, Justice Department to help us understand how to do this. And I've said the same I met with Dr. Tedros last month in Geneva, WHO, the Director General, to say, I don't know that the World Health Organization can solve this on our own. We need the other United Nations agencies. NATO, this is a security problem because it's no longer a theoretical construct or some arcane academic exercise. 200,000 Americans died because of anti-vaccine aggression, anti-science aggression. And so this is now a lethal force and now I feel as a pediatric vaccine scientist, it's just as though it's important, just as important for me to make new vaccines to save lives. The other side of saving lives is countering this anti-vaccine aggression.
With NATO.
Now, NATO, as she said, right? So it says Pandemic 2.0 will see police, NATO forcing the world to get juiced. And this, it goes into New Zealand, right? The latest version of New Zealand's pandemic plan, which serves as a blueprint for the rest of the world to follow, includes provisions to allow law enforcement even NATO to enforce the government's mandatory juice agenda. So let's see. Let's get a scripture. Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil, Esau, eating the so-called white man, in particular the elites and their minions, is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So these devils are moving on their agenda, man, because they don't have much time left, right? And this is what it's speaking about. It's coming. New Zealand legalizes forced juice, refusers to be tied to beds and forcibly injected. Man. So these are the times that we're coming into. You think that just because it's happening in New Zealand, it ain't gonna come over to the States? If you think that, you are sadly mistaken. Because we can't forget that even here in Babylon, this is still happening. So let's watch a little bit of this.
Welcome back. As the CDC reports high COVID-19 cases across the country, some experts are already thinking about how the fall and winter months could actually bring another wave of cases.
They are. In 11 Alive's Brittany Kleinpeter spoke to a doctor who says you need to get protected now.
For years, public health officials have struggled to nail down a pattern when it comes to COVID-19 surges. The virus hasn't typically followed a seasonal pattern like other viruses, such as the flu, which has created confusion over when to get vaccinated. However, health experts like Atlanta cardiologist Dr. Jane Morgan says the time is now.
And remember, you can get the flu and the COVID vaccine at the same time in the same settings. We were hoping to have a combined vaccine by this fall, but that won't quite be ready.
Dr. Morgan says she expects cases to continue to rise this summer before coming back with another wave this fall and winter, and that people should consider getting their vaccines in the next few weeks.
And now we have schools open, that children, they will bring it home, and we'll start to see it in families, and we can probably expect an uptick the same as we've seen in previous seasons.
The new COVID-19 vaccine, which targets the latest strain of the virus known as KP2, is expected to be distributed in the coming weeks. However, Morgan says if that vaccine isn't available to you in time, a prior vaccine would still be effective in offering protection.
These are all sort of grandchildren and great grandchildren and great great grandchildren of each other.
In Atlanta, Brittany Kleinpeter, 11 Alive News.
So the CDC is also reporting an uptick in the respiratory illness parvovirus B19, also known as fifth disease. Infections dropped during the COVID pandemic because all of the precautions that were taken, but that led to a reduction in immunity. So now more people are getting sick from this virus. Some people never develop symptoms, and those who do get typical flu-like symptoms, followed by a rash and joint pain. The seasonal virus can also cause complications in pregnant women and those with sickle cell disease. So to stop
Right. So I mean, there you have it, man. You know, they're setting the stage, you know, to do these forced, juices, these forced lockdowns, these, draconian measures, man. You know, get that real quick. This is Revelation 13 and 11. And I beheld another beast coming out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb. Right. So this another beast is Babylon the Great, Rome 2.0, right? America. And he had two horns, right? The two horns represent the two-party system. Back in Rome, ancient Rome, it was the plebeians and the patricians. Now you have the Democrats and the Republicans. So it has two horns like a lamb, right? So they both play on the emotions of the people, and they both act as if they care about the people's best interests. But it says, and he spake as a dragon, right? So when you go into this word dragon,
Strong's G 1404. Drakon.
Dracon it means a dragon, a great serpent, a name for Satan, right? Satan means adversary, right? So then you look up Dracon goes into draconian, right? Draco. So it says draconian is an adjective meaning of great severity, right? So if they're gonna do these types of things in the name of science and healthcare and what have you, this is draconian measures. And they're also going to do, in order to get these things to work, uh, Isaiah 10 and 1, and it reads, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and write grievousness which they have prescribed, man. So they're going to put all these unrighteous laws in place, which you see right here, in order to fulfill their wicked agenda, man. And they're using these different plagues to do so, right? Problem, reaction, solution, man. Get the, have a problem, get the reaction of the people, and then give them the solution, which is what you wanted to do in the first place, man. We are not ignorant of Satan's devices, man. Let's get back to where we at? Draconian in the Wikipedia. Draconian is an adjective meaning of great severity that derives from Draco, an Athenian law scribe, under whom small offenses had heavy punishments. So you think about, movies like, or books like, was it 1980? Was it George Orwell? You know, 1984. if I can get like a quick. Yep. So it says 1984 is a dystopian novel and cautionary tale of English writer George Orwell. It was published on the 8th of June, 1949. Let's see if I can get like a little synopsis of it. It says it centers on the consequences of totalitarianism, mass surveillance, and repressive regimentation of people and behaviors within society. Orwell, a staunch believer in democratic socialism and member of an anti-stylist left, modeled Britain under authoritarian socialism in a novel of the Soviet Union in the era of Stalinism, and on the very similar practices of both censorship and propaganda in Nazi Germany. More broadly, the novel examines the role of truth and facts within society and the ways in which they can be manipulated, man. So if you ever read this book, or watched the movie, you could, you'll know what it's talking about. And they have such things as thought police, man. And there's been a lot of articles coming out about, censorship and, people being punished for not going along to get along, man. Let's see, I don't know if it was, like, if it was in here. Uh, but I thought I seen it in here. Facebook censorship of CHD, RFK Jr. direct. Uh, but yeah, they show different things. Yeah, RFK Jr. says Americans must vote against the Democrats, the party of censorship and lawfare. So there's plenty of articles. There was one in particular I was thinking about. But get the point. But as the scriptures say, you know, oh, slack it. I don't know what I was getting. I'm gonna get this last. Revelation 13 and 11. And I beheld another beast coming out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, man. So going into that two-party system, and you know uh, those draconian measures, And it says, and he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, right, the Roman Empire, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed, right? So, when ancient Rome went down, his deadly wound was healed. And that's why, this is the revised Roman Empire, man, America, man. That's why, you gotta, you see the same Roman pillars, uh, they follow the same two-party system. It's Rome 2.0, man. It's Rome with an iPhone, you know. And this is what the Lord said for these times that we're coming into, man. Just to kind of wrap it up, you know, because they're gonna come with great wrath because they know that they have but a short time. You're gonna, uh, enforce lockdowns. They're gonna, people are gonna lose their jobs. As obviously an example of that during the CV, plan, joint, demic. Um, People lost their jobs. Some people stood strong, with Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, and we were taken care of. But a lot of our people, man, they folded like a cheap lawn chair, man. You know. But this time it's going to be worse, man. Even how that devil, Billy Gates of hell said, the next one they'll believe, man. So just speaking as a man, it appears that they're going to come. They're coming with all these different pestilences at the same time. And of course, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi are making these devils do so, right? Because the let's get that real quick. So I'm thinking about it. Proverbs 21. The king 21:1. The king's heart is in the hands of the Lord, the hand of the Lord. Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. Right. So the elites, their minds, right, are in the hand of the Lord. The Lord directs their paths, man. All man's goings are of the Lord. Right. So the Lord is making these devils do these things so that his prophecy can be fulfilled. Where's that at? Block it. The Lord is making these things, come to pass. The Lord said, Revelation 2:10, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil, Esau, even the so-called white man, shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days, a perfect amount of days. It could be 10 days, it could be 2 months, it could be 2 days. Whatever the Lord sees fit for your tribulation, your individual brothers. And it says, be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life, man. Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi are going to take care of their men, man. And you sisters out there that truly believe, man. But, this is just a report, of what these devils are up to. Just blowing the trumpet in Zion as we're commanded to do. And matter of fact, let's get that and end off on that. Ephesians 5 or 6. Yep. Ephesians 5:15. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. So expect, NATO troops walking around, expect, checkpoints, expect, things like Songbird. Expect things like this. A little, play a little bit.
Good morning, Miss Garcia.
Good morning, sunshine. I miss you. I could kiss you right now.
Someday.
Curfew is now in effect. All unauthorized citizens must stay indoors.
Curfews, checkpoints. As the scriptures say, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Right? You can't get in there. The little checkpoints that they just showed right there. People had to stay in their houses, had to be locked down.
Tensions rise as we enter the 213th week of lockdown.
Grim new reality emerges.
COVID-23 has mutated.
CV23. So who's to say that they're not going to say CV24? We just watching the video. The CV cases surge nationwide. And other pestilences.
Beginning thermal scan. Thermal scan normal.
A horrifying new development
New
today.
data confirms the virus attacks the brain tissue.
Whoa! I'm immune!
They have passports, jump shot passports. They want people to have a digital ID. You've seen he had a QR code on his wrist, right? A man shall desire to enter into a city and shall not be able unless you have this thing, or you have the proper paperwork or clearance. You ain't gonna be able to leave your house. You ain't gonna be able to do anything. You're not gonna be able to freely roam Babylon like everybody's accustomed to do.
Worldwide death toll rises to over 110 million.
All infected Americans are being forced into quarantine camps.
All infected Americans are being what? Forced into camps. And what do you think they're going to be doing inside of these camps? I don't know, maybe people that deny it will be tied to beds and forcibly injected? Does it seem that far-fetched? We are not ignorant of Satan's devices, man.
Sarah, what's going on?
Department of Sanitation. Sarah, talk to me.
I think my neighbor has a fever.
It'll be so much easier if you just open the door. Mrs. Grant, got visitors.
Sarah, please. Sarah, do not open that door.
Yep. And what did we watch in the clip from Redacted? That devil.
200,000 Americans died because of anti-vaccine aggression, anti-science aggression. And so this is now a lethal force and now I feel as a pediatric vaccine scientist, it's just as though it's important, just as important for me to make new vaccines to save lives. The other side of saving lives is countering this anti-vaccine aggression.
With NATO. Now,
With NATO. Yep. So, there you have it. Stay prayed up, Israel. These devils are coming down with great wrath because they know that they have a short time. But Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi will take care of their elect, man. So hope and pray this lesson was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to thank Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi once again for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakakadash. I want to give double honor to the apostles and the elders of GMS who teach and rule well, who taught me this truth. Salutation, you brothers and sisters that are out there listening and learning, fighting this good fight of faith. Salutation, my fellow brethren that are pushing this word in all truth and sincerity to you all. I want to say shalom. I want to say a ball, Kwam Yashavala. Hey, shalom. To the next one.